or the notification bell. If you will leave a nice comment under the comment section. See next time beyond. It'll be able to who and I'll be the first person once I reach me the alchemy. Shouldn't swam say ask the political stories here training in making waves in making headlines. And now your son is so nearly be up some more than you so. Nene, as some of that point so. Be the four trans ye moon pensy moon. Na aksemi ye wosono ye dosono na ye tutuna basa enisre ningina enixer. A movement for change. Alan Martin Edano. Ene ne ho akokan adwemo Alan. Because ni yetete enixer. Electoral Commission Mengsa Edano. Many NPP akabum say be disqualify Alan Martin from contesting. Yemon ro masweye ni yenhwe senior assembly pote. Leave your comment under the comment section ho emame. Yabuwa Media 90 men fan to my infra. Shenoswam say I say a POG Media.
You kindly hold on for me. Let's speak to the spokesperson for Movement for Change, Yao Boabe Asamoah. Mr. Asamoah, welcome to the program. Can you tell us what your concerns are and what are you going to be making sure that they are addressed at the IPAC meeting? Kindly unmute your microphone so we can hear you. Hello, Mr. Bawumia Samoa. Right, we're having difficulties trying to connect with the Movement for Change spokesperson, Yao Boabe Asamoah. I understand we have him back on the line. Can you hear me now? Welcome to the program once again.
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me now?
Right.
Yes.
Does the Movement for Change have any concerns they would want addressed at the next IPAC meeting?
A couple of general observations. If the calendar I've seen put out on social media today is the right calendar, then it means that it's very little different from what happened in the 2020 elections. And the bottom line then means that we are looking at how the Electoral Commission engenders trust and confidence in its activities. So for that purpose, as far as the Movement for Change is concerned, I think we need to emphasize that the 56-day information period, the public education period, ought to be filled not only with admonitions to the population to go and register and vote, but with also education and understanding about what the Electoral Commission actually does by law as its duty. And in that sense, it's important that people are educated about how people qualify, how candidates qualify, aspirants qualify during nominations, and the criteria for disqualifying or otherwise. Because it's a lot of propaganda on the ground now going on about the probability that Mr. Alan Martin, the founder and leader of the Movement for Change, who is going to be running as an independent candidate, will be disqualified because he's an independent candidate. And people are susceptible. People are anxious. People are worried about such kinds of propaganda and information, which may be misconstrued, may not be true. But if the EC itself does not respond to some of that, at some point, then it creates the impression that indeed it's true. So I would want to see during the EC's education, not only issues about how to queue up and vote and who is eligible to queue up and write their names in the register, but also how they manage the nomination process and who is qualified to be nominated and the elements for nomination. Finally, I expect the EC to address the now very dynamic electoral space because it's not only dominant political parties or smaller political parties. You now have movements, you have individuals who are powerful, who are substantive, and who are part of the process. And once they will be accepted at nomination, who need to be represented in the decision-making processes, leading up to the elections. So if EC is running IPAC for the benefit of the parties as a consultative process, then it is important that EC looks at how it can bring independent candidates on board the IPAC process.
You've mentioned that there are rumors running around that Alan Kyerematen is likely to be disqualified, but he will not be the first to go independent. Where are you hearing those rumors from?
Are we talking about politics 101 here? They are not rumors. You hear them on the media all the time. It's deliberate, intentional propaganda to limit the chances of Mr. Kyerematen. People, gullible voters, are attacked by such situations. The people go around trying to persuade potential voters, potential supporters of the butterfly movement, the movement for change, and potential supporters of Mr. Kyerematen, those who intend to vote for Mr. Kyerematen as an independent, that in the case of Mr. Kyerematen, there's a plot afoot to disqualify him. They are not talking about all independents. They are targeting Mr. Kyerematen, that there's a plot, a thick plot between the incumbent government and the Electoral Commission to disqualify him, and therefore supporting him is not useful. You will lose your vote if you support him. So why bother to support him? Stay where you are, vote for who you have, because in the end, if he's going to be disqualified, then you waste your vote. This is intentional, deliberate propaganda. It's not generalized. It's not a mere rumor. It is intentional, deliberate propaganda that is being carried out by persons in whose interest Mr. Kyerematen does not win this vote.
Right.
So it is something that the Electoral Commission ought to consciously address in terms of qualification and otherwise. But their name is being mentioned. They are being joined to the incumbent government and party as the ones who are in collusion to attack Mr. Kyerematen and disqualify him.
Right, Mr. Bawumia, I'll come back to you, but let me go back to the NDC's Mustafa Gbande. Mustafa, these are serious allegations Mr. Bawumia is making that the ruling New Patriotic Party is conniving with the Electoral Commission to disqualify Alan Kyerematen, who is a previous member of the NPP.
No.
What do you make of that?
No. Correct yourself. Correct yourself. I didn't say they are conniving. I said these are intentional propaganda stories that are going on the ground. I haven't stated it as a fact.
Okay.
We have to be clear about that. I haven't stated it as a fact. I'm saying that this is propaganda we've picked up on the ground.
So that means you're saying that the Patriotic Party is intentionally trying to disqualify Alan Kyerematen with the help of the Electoral Commission, if I get you.
There are persons going around talking to voters, disseminating a message. Yeah, so that's what we are picking up. I'm saying that there are persons going around telling potential voters, disseminating a message that at the end of the day, Mr. Kyerematen will be disqualified by the Electoral Commission at the instance of the governing party. That is intelligence we are picking on the ground. This is part of electoral process.
Mr. Bawumia, I'll come back to you, but it's only fair that I get the New Patriotic Party's representative to answer or rebut this statement. Haruna, you've heard what Mr. Bawumia just said. What do you have to say about that?
I think it's very unfortunate. The New Patriotic Party, we are not afraid of any individual. We pray that what he's saying does not come true, because for us, we want to beat everybody in the elections. I want to assure you that Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia will be the next president of the Republic, come what may. And we don't have any scheme with anybody. For us, we are not the Electoral Commission. How do we disqualify a candidate? We are not anywhere near that. And I think that is very unfortunate. It's coming from my former boss. I've worked under him, and he's a very good lawyer, very intelligent, very good legislator who has left Parliament. And I don't think that we should dwell so much on these unsubstantiated allegations that cannot even stand the test of time. We are not in that particular situation. The New Patriotic Party is very resolute in our mind, and we are not afraid of any individual, not to talk of any political party that is going to contest us. Dr. Bawumia is a solid candidate, and I believe that Ghanaians will vote for him.
I believe you've seen the calendar in circulation reportedly from the Electoral Commission. What is your reaction to that?
Yes, I've seen the calendar, and they've given tentative timelines with respect to activities that is going to happen in terms of limited registration, in terms of exhibition, in terms of a number of activities to the 7th of December. The NPP will look at this particular calendar and then make inputs as and when is demanded. I know that this particular calendar will be discussed at IPAC, and that is where all of us will make our input, and the New Patriotic Party will not shield our idea in terms of providing guidance in terms of these particular levels. You know, the NPP has always been the most political party that has made suggestions to reforms in our political system in terms of election processes. And I believe that we will not miss words when it comes to that. This will guide us so that in going forward, what we have to do as a political party to be able to shift the democracy, we will do so.
Let me go back to the NDC's Mustafa Gbande. Mustafa, I believe you're still with me. What will be your major demand at the next IPAC meeting?
Before we get to that critical question, it's important that I lay bare that in the practice of voting, the issue of registration is not limited to Accra and the cities.
Okay.
Now, the hinterlands where the Electoral Commissioner and its officers must assess in order to register Ghanaians. And so if you put a calendar at a time there is wind, it means that people cannot travel on the rivers to go and register people. If you put a calendar at a time that the streams will flood, it means that your officers cannot even cross to go and register Ghanaians. What it means is that those Ghanaians will cease to have the opportunity to register. If my brother and his party are Accra politicians, we are grassroots people and we understand the dynamics. Now, on the issue of having to disqualify a candidate or the otherwise, it's important to remark that these two political parties or these two independent candidates and NPP, in the last 1 year, the spokesperson was a deputy communication director of this political party, NPP. So the lack of coherence and consistency that brought about the birth of the independent candidate is the same tactics, the same antics, the same level of inconsistencies, the same level of pestilence. We in the NDC have a nation to build. Our focus is that even for my colleague to say that he has received a calendar, it's a shallow assessment of the issues legally.
How is it
you cannot as a
But was we brace wajumre merchant na we just channel you so na uti ni eko so oh my ganem. Channel so am say hi POG Media, POG Media. Say case wu twema abomani so be gina how. Hit on the subscribe button. Na afi hit on notification bell mami. Share, comment it based on a story na air trending na air kan wasem CC no. But that's why sir. Channel so am say has a political story sir. Ijawum NDB esun. The tough man on sa ede aka. And one so be to subscribe to the channel asa. Yini komai. See it was what has said ya. Electoral Commission in maybe a mu or the two just say ansa na wo betimi aye amayuku Ghana has he say political party no. Our criteria sa who do be a eso meeti ansa na yetimi ajwatum say we amayuku ubetima contest for presidency. The same thing no emrebi etwemu no ema oyiyi political parties in kiting be free ma na mami party and also can be na the woman said ansana ubitimi at a political party no unlike say winya offices our Ghana has say across the country the senti and maybe the president Jerry Lawrence in a year, Krenduajiman, or any party, and will disqualify him from contesting because no need enough offices or Ghana has it. And the same thing applies to Alain Chamatin. Inti be disqualify Alain Chamatin and say Electoral Commission do bune ni egu no maybe so now on the benefit of the doubt. Shana so mama say I has POG Media for comment a share under the comment section or Emma in the share Emma Akuffo.
Political party be taking communication from the Electoral Commission in media publications. The Electoral Commission would have to write a letter on its logo signed so that it can take full responsibility of such publications.
Right.
You go and take editings from a political, a graphic paper, and then you come and say that you have received it, and it means that they were given a calendar way ahead of time when we in the NDC doesn't have. For him to make that remark, it means that the EC is dealing with the NPP through the back door.
Mustafa Bande, is that to say that you are yet to see it as a party?
We have not seen it at all because it is unconventional. It is, it is not familiar.
Is it that you've seen it, but you refuse to accept it, or you're yet to see it at all because it's in circulation?
Electoral Commission
If I can make this very clear before my propaganda officer proceeds, we have not received any communication from the Electoral Commission.
Okay.
Hello?
Yes.
We have not received any official communication from the Electoral Commission.
So you are going by the communication that is in circulation,
right?
Why
do you say that? Why do you say that? Why do you say that you have received? Online. You haven't received anything. Why do you say you have received?
I have not said we have received.
Yeah, you said you are analyzing. You said you have analyzed it. I'm saying you haven't received. We have not been served.
I'm very
we don't take notice
so if I see something
from the Facebook or social media.
Analyze it. I have to analyze it. So my
that is not legal. That is not legal. Electoral Commission cannot be going through the windows.
My brother, there is nothing legal for Electoral Commission to come and seek your permission before they submit.
It's illegal. It's illegal. It's illegal.
My brother,
NPP is in bed with the Electoral Commission. It means your party have been given copies of the timelines. It means that EC is in bed with your party and you have received the calendar way ahead of time and we have not. That is the only reason why you say what you are saying.
The bed will break. The elephant is too big to be on a bed. The bed will break. So we are not in bed with anybody.
You are in bed. That's what you just indicated here. You just said that you have received. Where did you receive? Do you receive communications from Electoral Commission on social media? On social media, a political party like the NPP.
If you check, if you are not interested in
a political party like the NPP receiving notices of the Electoral Commission on their social media, please.
Okay, gentlemen, let me bring in Mr. Bawumia Samoa. Mr. Bawumia Samoa, I mean, they're going back and forth as to whether they've seen the calendar or they haven't. I believe you've also seen the calendar in circulation. What do you make of it? Are you satisfied with it?
No, like this.
Yes.
We can't continue like this.
Samoa, can you hear me? Can you kindly exercise some decorum so that we can also hear from Mr. Bawumia Samoa, respectfully?
Tell the propagandists to do so.
You see, this is why we are saying that this duopoly is headed nowhere. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? This duopoly is headed nowhere. We are talking about real politics. It is a fact that some sort of calendar is online. And I'm saying that if that is the calendar, that's how I began my remarks. If that is the calendar. Having it on, if that calendar is out there, there's no problem discussing it. And so this back and forth really doesn't help us at all. And that is why we are saying that this duopoly, NPP and DC is leading us nowhere. This is a time to generate trust. Generating trust and confidence in the Electoral Commission after 8 elections is a continuous dynamic process. You can have difficulties about what they are doing, but you cannot use those difficulties to undermine the general process of elections that we have. And therefore, we are saying that the Electoral Commission must always be qualitative in the things it does. And currently, with that calendar, we are saying it should deepen and improve the education part of its mandate, because that is weak. The education part doesn't deal with all the issues outstanding. And secondly, we are saying that the IPAC process itself must be improved,
right,
to take account of the current dynamic political environment, which includes more than NPP, NDC. It includes several other stakeholders who are interested in the election itself and who will be part of the election. In conclusion, I want to say that it is true, because it's a political process. It is true we are picking up intel about propaganda about the eligibility or otherwise of Mr. Chemating, perhaps because he's such a dominant, independent political candidate. Once the EC's name appears in that propaganda, we expect the EC, as part of its education processes, to satisfy the public that its processes in terms of nomination and qualification or disqualification or otherwise are watertight, and that the people of Ghana understand those processes.
All right, let me bring in the CPP's Kofi Osei, who is the National Interim Council member. Kofi, welcome to the program. I want to find out from you, CPP, how prepared is your party for this election?
A very good afternoon to you and your viewers. Let me say, I have to go through a lot of hassle to be on your show because we've started the campaign already. We're talking to delegates, we're meeting almost every stakeholder, which is in my party.
Mr. Osei, for the sake of time, can we please go straight to the point? We have a few minutes to wrap up.
Yes. So I agree with my co-panelists that the IPAC is almost becoming an information outlet. The purpose of the IPAC was that we all meet and then delegate and then deliberate on ideas as to how to make sure that our electoral system becomes very strong. But what the Electoral Commission has been doing these days is that they only call the political parties to their premises only to tell us what they have decided on, and then expect us to swallow it hook and sinker, which is not the original idea of IPAC. Now, going again, there's one point that we are all missing. The Electoral Commission has brought out timetable that is going to embark on voter education exercise and all those things. What is missing is for us, the political parties, to find out how strong the Electoral Commission system is. Don't forget, in 2016, Madame Charlotte Osei alleged that her system was hacked, which became a bigger issue in this country, that her system was hacked. Now, what we, the political parties, want is that the Electoral Commission should call for a roundtable discussion for us to test their system to see how robust it is, to see that, indeed, the mandate of the Ghanaian will be safeguarded come 2024.
I mean, you will have the opportunity to attend the meeting on Thursday. What will be your major demand as a party?
The point is that our demands don't matter. Like I told you in the beginning, the Electoral Commission only decide what they want to tell us. Meet the political parties and say, okay, we decided on A, B, C, D, and this is how we are going to roll it out. Unfortunately, unfortunately, that is more the reason why some political parties have been in and out of IPAC. But the Electoral Commission should understand one thing. The political parties are a very big major stakeholders when it comes to the electoral processes in this country. If my political party and other political parties decide that we are calling off our supporters, our delegates, our electorate, not to go to the electoral pools on 7th December, what is going to happen is that the Electoral Commission is going to set up their table. They are going to be ready for the elections, and nobody's going to show up. And so the Electoral Commission should be mindful of the fact that it is the taxpayers' money that's being used to run the Electoral Commission. Again, it is we, the people of Ghana, who have mandated them to collate our opinion and decide where we want to turn out the decision making of the country to. So the Electoral Commission should be mindful of that. I am looking forward to a new Electoral Commission where Bosman Asari and co.
Mr. Say, briefly, in a few seconds, have you seen the calendar in circulation?
Yeah, I have seen the timetable they've proposed.
All right. I want to thank you very much for your time this afternoon. Unfortunately, we've run out of time, but this is where we draw the curtain on Election Brief. My name is Kenneth.
Also, POG Media, so say political stories trending make weeks and it be added exmo but actually brace our jemre and then be trying up to this time but morning I say oh corner over me leave your comment under the comment section now hit all the notification bell and also subscribe to the channel so the be channel no bit me afana holding a crowd let's time be and meet me the change see it me about sumo our channel so IPOG Media.